A very good day. So today we will learn how we can create a simple visualization in Power BI. As you can refer in this Excel file over here, we do have a data which consists date, segment and also RM. So based on this given data, we are going to construct a simple visualization in Power BI. So let's get started. Okay, the first thing is I go to my Power BI. So in this Power BI desktop, in this interface over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to import the data from the Excel file. So I'm going to import data and I choose the file. So I save the file as this file and I'm going to open this file and it will load for a while. So once it has been loaded, it will ask us which particular table or sheet that we want to extract to the Power BI. So for today's exercise, we'll focus on exercise 1. So I'm going to select exercise 1 and I'm going to press load. Okay, so automatically it will be loaded into the Power BI desktop. So now it has been already loaded into the Power BI desktop. Our exercise 1 is already here. So the next thing is we're going to create an visualization. So when you create a visualization, it's better to have a title. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new text box over here. Okay, I'm going to click this. I'm going to make it bigger and I just want to put as expenses. All right, and I want to make it bigger, so I'll just put it as maybe size 40 and I'll put it at the middle and there you go. So this is the size and then I want to change the effects to a different color. Okay, let me choose maybe a light yellow and there you go. Okay, so this is the expenses. We do have a title. So the next thing is what I'm going to do is I want to create a bar chart. So what I do is I just create a bar chart. So we do have a bar chart over here and I click this exercise 1, I click the date and I click the RM. Automatically when we click the date, the year, the month, the quarter will appear. So I don't want the quarter, month and day to appear. So what I do is I remove the quarter, I remove the month and I remove the year. So now we do have this data accordingly. So I'm just going to put this over here, make it, let me arrange this. And over here what I'm going to do is this is the data that I have. Okay, and of course the data shows is sum of RM, so I don't want the sum of RM, I want to change into expenses. Okay, so we do have expenses by year. So the next thing what I really like to show is what we can do with graphic card. So I'm just going to click a simple graphic card over here. Okay, and I just want to put it over here and I just want to put maybe a RM. Okay, so we have about 1 million. So I'm just going to go to this format your visual, call out value. So instead of appearing 1 million, I want it to appear in thousands. So I click thousands. So now you have about 1.079 thousand. Okay, so instead of showing sum of RM, I'll change the title, I'll change the name. So I'll change it into overall expenses. Okay, so now we have the overall expenses. But if you notice over here, we do have the year. But if just say I want by subcategory, that means I want by the segment, I also want this. So how I'm going to do this is I'm going to create a new measure. Okay, so we are going to learn a simple DAX, data analytic expression, whereby I'm going to use a simple DAX to calculate the SUMIF function. So what I'm going to do is I just will put this as a name over here. I'll just put the name as price. Okay, so if you notice over here, we do have the data, the date, the segment. So the segment consists of broadcasting, price and also ticket attendance. So I want to find the each pricing, the each expenses. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go here, I put here price and I want to write the formula called SUMX. So SUMX is a formula whereby we can calculate the SUMIF. So I'm going to press this and the next thing is I'm going to use the second thing called filter. So filter, and then after filter they will ask me which table. So we only have one particular data, so I'm going to write here exercise 1 and then they will ask me which expression I want to choose. So I want to choose the expression called segment. Why segment? Because the price falls under the category of segment. So I just go to segment and I put here equal apostrophe price, close apostrophe, close bracket, and then I put the comma, and then they will ask me the expression. So this time I want to find the RM. So I just press this, close bracket, and there you go. Alright, so this is the data you have. So it will load. So now you have a new measure called price. I'll do the same thing for another measure called broadcasting and also ticket attendance. So I'm just going to copy this, and I'm going to go to new measure, and under the new measure over here I'm just going to put for broadcasting. So yeah, so I'm going to put this broadcasting SUMX, and then I'm going to put this, the table name I'll just put as filter first. So the table I put exercise 1, and then I put as segment equal apostrophe broadcasting close bracket comma RM. Okay, so we have done for broadcasting. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is for ticket attendance. So I'm going to copy this and new measure again. So this one I'll name as ticket attendance SUMX, and then filter, and then I'll put this exercise 1, and then this time I'll just put segment again equal apostrophe ticket attendance close bracket, and I'll just put RM. Okay, so we do have 3 different types, which is the ticket attendance, the segment, and everything. So what I'm going to do now right now is I'm going to create a graphic card for each of the segment. So I'll just choose the graphic card, and I just want to take on broadcasting. Okay, so we have a broadcasting about 498,000, and then over here maybe I'll just put it somewhere here, overall expenses somewhere here. Okay, so it looks nice, and broadcasting is over here, and then I create another card, and this time is for ticket attendance. Okay, so ticket attendance we have about 335,000, and then we have another one for price, so we have 246,000. Okay, so this is the data. Now what if just say I want to create a chart, a bar chart mainly for segment by year. So I just click on the chart over here, and then I remove the date, and on the y-axis I put segment. Okay, so now when I put the segment, you can see the data over here. So I'll just upkeep first. Okay, so the data shows this. I want to upkeep this. I want to make it bigger. So what I'm going to do is I want to insert a data label first, so that you can see the data over here. So we have here 0.5, which is true, 0.34 and 0.25. And data labels, I just want to increase the size so that it looks bigger. Instead of 9, I put here 15, so that now we have a bigger size for data label. The x-axis, I want to make it bigger as well. I'll just put as maybe 15 as well, and the y-axis I put as 15 as well. So we have this data over here. The next thing what I'm going to do is I want to create a slicer. So I go to this icon over here, which is slicer. So I click on the slicer, and I choose the year. Okay, so I click on the date. So of course the date will show all the dates, but I don't want in this format. What I'm going to do is I want by date hierarchy. Okay, so now we have the date hierarchy. So instead of day, instead of month, instead of quarter, we do have these 3 years. And what I'm going to do is, instead of having in a vertical list, I want it to choose on a tiles format. So this vertical list I put on a tiles format, and now there you go. So I want to make it this, so make it, maybe just make it smaller. Okay, there you go. All right. So now if just say I click 2018, so on 2018 you will notice that price we have about 137,000, and then we have ticket attendance about 13,000, and broadcasting is about 161,000. When I click 2019, you will notice that your ticket attendance is about 163,000, and broadcasting is about 91,000. When I click 2020, you will notice that this is your data. Okay, so maybe let me make it a bit smaller. All right, so there you go. Okay, so this is the data. So if you can play around, so you can actually click this, and this is how you can create a simple visualization in your Power BI.